Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike at Filmboy24, and I hope everyone's ready to go way back in time. Way back in time. Because it's time for Found Film 16mm edition number 51. Yep, that's right. I said it. We're going back, not to the future, but back to the past. Quite a bit back, in fact. What we have here, and I'm trying not to bump the table because, woo, you guys don't even know to get all this balanced. What we have this time, if you're not familiar with found film, it's a really old roll of film that was filmed a really, really long time ago and lost, but now found. So, in other words, I didn't shoot this film. Nobody that I know shot this film that I know of. And I obtained it about a month and a half, 2 months ago online. And it was fully exposed. So I was a little bit excited to see what was on it and to show everyone there, hopefully. Now, as you know, when we deal with Kodachrome, nowadays, you have a really hard time getting anything decent out of it. If it was shot years and years ago, and it's an old roll like this is, you can get some halfway decent results out of the Kodachrome from the 2000s, but this stuff, typically, I don't expect much. Now, this was in a box. This cartridge, or we call it a magazine, holds 50 feet of 16mm movie film. And it's shot typically at 16 frames per second. Now, this is Kodachrome II, part II. And this is really old Kodachrome. In the Super 8 world, this was phased out in the 70s for Kodachrome K40. In 16mm, about the same, sometime in the 70s. This particular example that we have today had a process before date of April 1964. Yes, that's before I was born. That puts this roll of film, and I'll tell you exactly, because I was able to obtain an edge code on this film that gives us the date that this particular roll or magazine of film was manufactured. The edge code was a circle and a square. And that means, according to Kodak, that this particular roll of film was manufactured in 1962. Which is right along the lines of what we have always known in the found film world, or in the cine film world. Kodak likes to put about an 18-month to 2-year process before date on their films, or at least they did back then, back in the olden days. So I went into this not really expecting much at all. I've processed a lot of Kodachrome in my day. Most of the time, when I process Kodachrome II, I'm not saying you're not going to get images, but you're not going to get good images. I don't know. You just don't. When it was shot this long ago. Now, I'm going to try experimenting with some other chemicals that will be added to my developer to hopefully help in sort of dissolving away some of the age fog, so to speak. But we haven't done that just yet. But there is a ton of fogging that goes on with this old film. And this is no exception. I don't know why I kept this, probably just to show you. This is just the tape band. There's always a tape band that goes around these rolls of film or these magazines of film. And it says Kodachrome II, process K12. Now, K12 preceded the, what we call current K14 process for Kodachrome, even though it's now defunct. And K12 was preceded by K11 process, which is even older. That was their original. So I did the best, the very, very best that I could. I processed this roll of film in my go-to Kodak's HC110 developer. I used the B formula, which is 31:1, 31 water, 1 part developer. And I did it at about 67.5 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 solid minutes. I then washed it real good for a couple minutes with plain running tap water, and then I fixed it with Kodak's powdered fixer, hardener fixer, for about 6 to 7 minutes. I don't remember exactly. They recommend 5 minutes. I go 6 to 7 just to see bafe. And it seems to work for me. So that's what I did with this. I'm going to show you a film in a second, but I will tell you, and I told you this already, I do process all my own film, I scan all of my own film, and then of course I deliver it all right here to you. If you have an old roll of film, like this, found film, and you're curious what's on it, if it's your family's, I can do it for you. You're going to see the results and what you probably can expect at the best out of it. I have to charge you for it, unless it's true found film. If it's found film that you got in a case when you bought a camera or something like that, or you got it at an auction or something like that, then I do it for free, but I keep the film and I showcase it right here on my channel. Anyway, without too much more yip-ha, here we go. We're going to show you the film. Keep an open mind. It came out really, really poorly, but you will see images. Here they are. So what do we know about it? Other than the fact that it's deteriorated almost to the point where it's unrecognizable. That's going to happen, kids. It's not always going to be beautiful cameraman Mike footage. Sometimes it's going to be this, but I'd rather show it to you than just ditch it. I'm not that person. I can't just throw this old stuff away. So what do we know for sure about it? Well, we know there's palm trees. I feel like there's a resort. I feel like probably this is a resort. It was shot quite well, if I'm being honest. Those nice slow pans, so somebody did a really good job. It would have been stunning to be able to see this footage in all its color Kodachrome glory. Probably 61 years ago when it was shot-ish, something like that. But unfortunately that time has passed and we have to do it in black and white now. So we know there's palm trees. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of a resort. I did see a big cactus. There is a building with, I'll put an image right here. I can't make out, and I'm sure, well, hopefully maybe somebody knows that logo or something on the side of that building so we could, just for kicks, maybe know where it's at. My guess is somewhere out west, Arizona, Nevada, maybe California, something like that. Some kind of desert resort or mountain resort, well, there's palm trees, there's cactuses, it's a resort, and I see a mountain in the background. Figure it out. I don't know. I'm not that sleuthy. Anyway, if you can figure out what that logo was that I had posted up there, or the name, it's kind of hard to read. I can't quite figure it out. Or if you're familiar with that location, put that right in the description, in the comments section. Put it in the comments section. Let me know what you think of the film. Like I say, I do the absolute best that I can do. My workflow is ever changing. If you have an old roll of film, I don't like doing roll film, so if it looks like this in the camera, it's on those reels, you know, the rolls, most of the time that doesn't turn out. But if you have an old Super 8 roll that's in the cartridge, or an old magazine of this, and you're curious about it, email me. My email is in the About section of YouTube. If you enjoyed episode number 51, this little walk down memory lane, found film number 51, then do me a favor. It's free. It takes less than a quarter of a second. It takes a lot less time than it does for me to tell you or beg you to do it. Hit the like button or the little, the thumbs up button. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, I do this all the time. I probably have 100-ish more rolls, and more come in pretty regularly of different types of film that was shot many years ago. Most of it is Super 8. A few more rolls of 16 millimeter. But if you want to see more, then do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. Become part of this beautiful family. We have a great core group of people. We do a live stream every single Sunday, and we do a lot of film talk. We do a lot of film chatting live Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there or be round. And until the very next time, speaking of round, until the very next time that I see all of your beautifully stunning, gorgeous faces right here a la YouTube. There it is. Whoa, that one went early. Oh, poof. I'll see all of you on the very next goofy go around.